What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA, and yes, finally, man, this thing is official. Man, live action Legend of Zelda. What a time to be alive, man. This is going to be awesome. I am looking so forward to this film coming out. You guys know I've already stated it. Big Legend of Zelda fan. Been playing the game since the OG gold cartridge Legend of Zelda. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this. Legend of Zelda live action film in development from Nintendo and Maze Runner director Wes Ball. This is on Variety. Yeah, there was actually a tweet that came out earlier. Let's check that out real quick. Yeah, and this is from Shigeru Miyamoto. He says, "This is Miyamoto. I've been working on the live action film for The Legend of Zelda for many years now with Avi Arad, who has produced many mega hit films." And then he says, "I have asked Avi-san to produce this film with me, and we now have officially started the development of the film with Nintendo itself heavily involved in the production. It will take time until its completion, but I hope you look forward to seeing it." And then they got this press release right here. Development of a live action film of The Legend of Zelda to start. Nintendo Company Limited today announced that it will develop a live action film of The Legend of Zelda. The film will be produced by Shigeru Miyamoto, representative director and fellow of Nintendo, and Avi Arad, chairman of Arad Productions, who has produced many mega hit films. The film will be produced by Nintendo and Arad Productions Incorporated and directed by Wes Ball. The film will be co-financed by Nintendo and Sony Pictures Entertainment, with more than 50% financed by Nintendo. The theatrical distribution of the film will be done worldwide by Sony Pictures Entertainment. So they're away from Universal. So Universal, who handled, the Super Mario Brothers film along with Illumination, all right, they're out. They're going to actually go with Sony Entertainment. So that's interesting. But yeah, I mean, what a great time to be alive, bringing Hollywood. Look, Hollywood meet Hyrule. I love the way this thing starts out. Look, this is something that I've already discussed, okay? I've already talked about this actually when the rumors first started circulating about that, and I'll link that video above. I believe it was Jeff Snyder who had came out with the rumor initially stating that, yeah, they were developing a Legend of Zelda film just based on the fact that Super Mario Brothers was so strong, it did so well in the box office. That was going to entice Nintendo to go all in and make sure, hey, let's go ahead and do this Legend of Zelda film, because we're going to make a ton of money with this. And look, we're inviting more fans into the fan base. I think that's what a lot of these properties need to do. Hey, we're going to widen our base so it's not just video game players that are watching this stuff. We're going to widen it out, and we're going to try to get more people involved with what we're doing. Video games are the hottest thing going right now, all right? Period, end of story. It's bigger than comic books at this point. We already saw what Five Nights at Freddy did. We saw what Sonic's done. We saw what Super Mario has done. You got adaptations of like The Last of Us that are very popular. We had Uncharted. I mean, there's so many video games that are being, converted into films and television shows. It's just going to keep going. You just hope that they don't screw it up, okay? But I don't think they'll screw this up, man. I think Legend of Zelda is going to be solid, man. I am looking forward to this. Let's go ahead and check this article out. Nintendo is developing a live-action film based on Legend of Zelda. Creator and game developer Shigeru Miyamoto announced. The gaming legend took to Nintendo's official X Twitter to write, and this is what he said. We already just read that. The movie will be directed by Wes Ball, who helmed the Maze Runner trilogy and the upcoming Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, written by Jurassic World screenwriter Derek Connolly, and produced by Miyamoto, whose involvement in the 2023's Super Mario Bros. Movie helped make it a groundbreaking box office success. Ball also produces with Joe Hartwick Jr. under their Oddball Entertainment banner. The Zelda movie is co-produced by Arad, whose credits include every live-action Spider-Man movie and Spider-Verse animated films. The film will be co-financed by Nintendo, Sony Pictures, more than 50% financed by Nintendo, so on and so forth. After decades of wariness when it came to adapting its video game franchise, particularly stemming from the failure of the 93 Super Mario Bros. I mentioned that, I think, on a previous video. Yeah, that thing shut it all the way down for Nintendo. After that Super Mario Bros. With Bob Hoskins came out and John Legend Leguizamo, they were like, oh, no, we done here. Okay, pull the plug, we're done. We're not messing around with this. Nintendo reached box office high score with the 2023 animated Mario starring Chris Pratt and produced by Chris Meledandri's Illumination. The movie jumped more than 1.36 billion worldwide at the box office. This is why they're doing it right here. Okay, I'm gonna let y'all know right now. It's all about the money, the artistic nature of this, whatever you want to say. It's about that 1.36 billion. And they are like, oh, we could just tap into more of our video game franchises and we can go ahead and expand it. Let's get this Nintendo Cinematic Universe going. Now, I was listening to the homie Nick over there at EBN. He was a little upset because he says, well, it's not going to be animated. You know, it's not going to be animated. He wanted animated. I actually think they're still going to do something animated with The Legend of Zelda, and they're going to fit that into the Nintendo Cinematic Universe. I still believe that. And I believe what they can do, or what they probably should do, is, you know, take whatever characters that they're going to present in the live action film and just convert it to animation. I don't think it's that hard. You know, James Gunn is pretty much going to be doing that with the DC universe. All the same actors are going to be playing those same parts, whether in video games, animated, or live action. And I would do the exact same thing. I would have whoever's going to be playing Link and Zelda and Ganondorf and so on. I would have those actors say, okay, we're going to bring you in. We're going to do some animated stuff as well. So when we finally get to, like, let's say a meetup movie, you know, with Smash Brothers or whatever, you know, they'll just bring those same actors in. Okay, you're going to be doing the voices. There we go. But for me personally, I've always wanted a live action Legend of Zelda. That's something that just a movie I've always wanted to see and see how it all plays out. And listen, they're going to do it right. They're going to take their time. You can tell by what Miyamoto said. They're going to take a while to get this thing going. I guarantee you this is not coming in any 2025. It might not even happen in 2026. We might be looking at 2027 or later before this film actually drops in theaters. But yes, it's going to be live action. For me, that's huge. That is just really, really huge. It was one of the things that I was talking about, the questions that I had. As a matter of fact, let's look at that checklist that I did on that last video. Now, yeah, this is the checklist that I had on that last video, and obviously we got the answer to the first question, live action or animated. We got a live action, although I still think there's a strong likelihood that they will do something animated with Link and with Zelda, or maybe just the characters themselves, so that they could fit in somehow with a, you know, combined cinematic universe with Nintendo. Now, new story or an adaptation, again, I was of the opinion that you do a brand new story and then you create a video game that accompanies that story. So that way, if people want, they can dive deeper into the world of the movie, into the details for this particular film. The story will probably be just like any other Zelda story. It's going to be super deep with the lore. It's going to have all kinds of different characters, and people are going to want to explore that at their leisure. So yeah, you just set up a game and you say, okay, cool, we're going to do a brand new story and we're just going to make a game that goes with that. Because to me, if you do decide to do an adaptation, what do you adapt? Do you adapt Ocarina of Time? Do you adapt Wind Waker, Majora's Mask, you know, A Link to the Past? Like, where are you going with it? Breath of the Wild? There's so many games, you know, and if you don't adapt the right game, you're going to have everybody, oh, why didn't they adapt this game? You know, you're going to hear all of that nonsense, you know. So you just, hey, brand new, okay, brand spanking new film, story, and a game that goes with it. I think that's the way to go. And then the last one, does Link talk or no? Well, like for me, I think, yeah, I feel like this is really interesting because Link doesn't talk in the games. If you don't play Legend of Zelda, Link has never said a word. He mumbles, you know, but that's pretty much it. So you don't know what Link sounds like. It's different than Mario, where Mario has words and dialogue and, you know, Mamma Mia, even with that, you at least know what he sounds like. We don't know what Link sounds like, and the most he does is grunt. So, will he talk? Obviously, I think he should. I think they'll kind of balance it. He'll be maybe a man of few words. He'll have, you know, other characters doing a lot of talking. There may be a narrator, you know, something like that. I'm not sure if that's even a big deal, but it's a curious question. It's one that I had, you know, what do you do with this particular character as far as him talking? The reason we were so resistant and careful to adapt our games into movies is because in video games, there is always a player who overcomes challenges and fights their way through. Miyamoto told Variety in a April cover story, their struggle redoing the levels over and over is all part of it. He continued, just following the plot points of the video game will never work as a movie. Without the involvement of the player, it won't meet expectations. Yeah. So, yeah, these are, points that I agree with as well, because, you got to do it right. You can't just, try to go through the step by step of a video game when you're telling a story. And I think now that a lot of games are more cinematic now and they have a deeper lore and a deeper, richer history to it, Zelda fits in perfectly with that. So I don't think they'll have any struggle coming up with a good plot and a good storyline and good characters. Obviously, the characters are already there. I don't think they'll have any plot problems at all. Plot and casting details are still under wraps, but the video game series follows the elf-like warrior Link, who sets out to defeat the evil Ganon and rescue Zelda, the Princess of Hyrule. The latest installment of the Zelda game series is 2023's Tears of the Kingdom, which sold more than 10 million copies in its first 3 days. See, video games are on absolute fire, man, right now. The video game industry is dominating like nobody's business. I've already pointed out that video where it's bigger than film, it's bigger than movies. Video games are it. It's the biggest part of the entertainment industry, hands down. And now that you got Nintendo stepping into the film industry, I think they're just going to take over and start dominating that. Nintendo has a very huge, rich catalog of heroes and villains, of franchises, of characters that they could just bring out there. It's 40 years deep into characters. There's no telling how big this thing can get. And live action or animated, I think folks are going to be absolutely thrilled with what this film is. I'm excited, man. I'm absolutely excited. If you can't tell, I am absolutely loving this news again, because we get so much terrible content now. It's not like it used to be. And you just want to love things and enjoy things. You're tired of always just, man, I got to talk about this crap again. But now this is something that we all can put our arms around and embrace. And it looks like Miyamoto, as he said, man, look, we're taking our time. We're going to do it right. We're going to make sure that everybody's excited. Everybody's happy with this. So, hey, get excited, right? Like if you're Dr. Stone, get excited. This is it, man. I am excited. I cannot wait for this movie to come out. But you guys let me know what you think. Jump down in the comments. Give me your thoughts and opinions on that. And thanks for watching. See you next time.